Another heading. We have another heading here as we're on the Arba B'Lechudui. So what is he talking about? The four that are by themselves. So, 1 second. So the Or Yakar, who is going to be what we're going to look at here, he says, Or Yakar, he says, Ray, Babira Meshula the Rizal. I don't know, where did I get the Or Yakar? I don't know. That's the next one. Okay, Rizal, Shiniz Bayer al Pi Hayofashah explains this according to the Yofashah B'Chasulam. So it's interesting to me that the Tsulam is, maybe you don't know this, but I used to learn with Shmalo. In Shmalo's house, we were learning the Sulam, because that's what we had. And then Rabbi Mograbi came into that shir one day with Nosson, with Nosson. He brought him in, and he told us we could do better by looking at the Matak Medavash. Now I see that the Sulam is considered to be, by these people, considered to be, like one of the boys, or at a very, that's the wrong way to say it, at a very high level. So anyway, let's go back. According to all these people, the figures is the Fusim Achronim. We have this word istamro. Now the question is, I don't see anybody yet saying exactly what istamro means, but it sounds like the word shamor. Buhuki rak arba b'dikuni dikter al yonin de Erik Anpin. They're guarded. There's the word shomer. They're kept up above. Vulam is parshin the matach of the hoyer bedikted the zer anpin. Ella la'asid ella the eating muzumanas except at special times, like in chakras, for example, and when we're davening the amida could go be'es amiras v'yavor, or for example that place right there is a very interesting subject anyway. Okay, so that's sort of like the idea that we're dealing with here. What does istamru mean? And they said nishtamru. Okay, let's go on. Then the Bor Yakar, he says that Garis Gam came istamru. He also says that apparently this is the old language here, istamru. Am the Rabbinir the Mefarsh Gavana istamru, the Handa Beloshan ha'alma utamira. So haloma utamira. It's a language of hiddenness. The os tough mischaleka the os test. It could be switched. You could switch it like that. Zel l'shon. Arba Rabbi they're four by themselves is tamru. Okay, so that's they're held back, I guess, or he says they're hidden. It means that they're hidden. They don't spread. Of the ha'inyan is this. This is very the Sifra that's new to the snifter of the Utah holds. Ki mamash teisha tekuni dikna dezer anpen heim michlal hayud gimel al yonim be'inyan shehem tisha mizgalim. So he says, let's read again, a different idea. He says ki mamash teisha tekuni dikna dezer anpen, because his big bira is only 9. Heim michlal, those 9 are part of the yud gimel of yonim, which is the yud gimel of Erik Anpen be'inyan shehem tisha mizgalim, because this is the part of the beard that actually winds up being revealed. The other 44 of the 13, misalmim, are hidden away. They're not incorporated into zer anpin adkan, and which we mentioned that sometimes they are. But like he says v'yavor, and I don't always say v'yavor. V'yavor, I was learning that a little bit with Shmalo. We just ended it out, never finished it. It's a very big Indian. The favorite Marie Saruk. Now let's go over here and let's look at the Marie Saruk. He says v'garis the defusim rishonim istamchu. So this is the way he sees it, istamchu, which sounds like the word samech, or it's next to it, or something like that. Excuse me. Mavar Bazel Lashonon explains. This is the language he uses. Amna b'zer anpin, we see that in zer anpin there are arba b'chadviru yistamchu. So that's what he says. Kolomar, what's istamchu mean? Ein locha l'tzorich gufo, they're only for the purposes of the body. He's talking about zer anpin, I think. Ki im teisha tekunim v'arba b'tekunim she'enam tedirim. So that you have really only 9 that are really near necessary for the. He said the word gufo for the body. He says the kunim the kunim she'enit dirim. Then there's another 4 that are not always representative. I'm sure he's talking about zeranpin. That's what I think. So they're not always she'enit dirim, and they're not always together. So what does that mean? They're over there by themselves. Kolomer the pamim istam kulo. Leitim yudun l'tzorach hatachtonim. So sometimes there are still we don't have a real good explanation of istamchu, but it sounds like it's the word samach, something like that. It's only sometimes when it's necessary. Hainu the ka'amatesha eshakim the gufa. So there's 9 of them. That is 9. The lower 9 spheres we're talking. I'm sure about the body of Eric Anpin. The beard of Eric Anpin, rather. Koloma Tesha Tikunim Bilvad Yesh Tamid Bo the Hashkos as Gufo in order. In other words, the beard of Eric Anpin is really to sustain, to water, he says, so to speak, his body. Kolomer Liten Lo Chius V'Koach. Now there is a little note on this. I don't think it goes anywhere. They actually come, let's say again, maybe come near to it, come next to it, or come into it, Allah the parakim adkan. So that's a quote from it. What did he say? So he says also, go up here, also, hu bezorakia. They also brings the same idea. B'pirish echad ve'emech v'melech also uv'shever Yosef v'inach v'nisparish kan mi heim elu arbechet tikuni acherim. So what are these other 4 that are not samach? So he says amnam rei b'tikuni zohar over there shehei v'chadivarim elu b'tosefes lashon b'tosefes lashon v'zel lashon. He writes it like this. Kasav Rav Matzasi Shadalat Tikunim. I found like this, that there are 4 Tikunim Elyonim de Eric Anpin. The Prakam is Stamko de Zer Anpin. Sometimes they come next to or come into a Stamchu. We still don't have for sure a definition of a Stamchu. They Stamto de Zer Anpin. So it's still the same idea. There are 4 that separated and that stay out. So he says over Anpin, V'enim Tader Imo Kanoida, and they're not always there as is known. Masha ein came tisha tikunim tachtonim ashakim lagufa, which is not the case of the 9 lower parts, which wind up going mishtakim lagufa. Now there's a little bit of confusion for me whether he's talking about the beard of Eric Anpin or the beard of Zer Anpin. So I think he's talking about both. So I think he's talking about the 9 lower parts of the beard of Eric Anpin, and thus the part that comes into the beard of Zer Anpin for the purpose of building up his body. And that's what they do. That's what the 9 do. Is so the 9s. So let's go on and let's see a little bit more. So it says let's look at that one. He said according to, apparently he has more than one pirush on this. The garas gam came istamchu. So he also writes it according to this version. So istamchu, it seems to me that he said that the first one is istamru, referred to the original version. So this is another version. Istamchu, so it says in a different way, a new way of looking at this. What does that main phrase mean? That's what we're working on, that phrase. He said, this is a new idea. There are 4 different tikkunim on the beard that actually don't have hair. That she'ein bechem sa'aros kadol he's going to explain that they have no hair. Became in shekain, so since that's the case, ein ha'ora shalachem nimshachem l'matach shaharechav ein lechem tzinuros shehem has'aros, so therefore they can't go down, because there's no channel for them to go down. They're just shining there. Kedei laham shechabachos l'mata, which you need in order to be able to bring them down lower. So he said, "V'nira de mefarish istamchu b'lashon istamu, istamu." Now, what does that mean? Istamchu means istamu. What does istamu mean? Stop. Shen istamu ha'orel milrei, that is stopped up. It means stopped up. Istamu. The istamchu means istamu. And that word means they can't go down. He means that they're not able, they don't flow. Pirish, there's nothing to flow. No vehicle for flow. Pirish hayud gimel tikuni dikta became besod sinuris hayotzim lahoyer lamata. He says that the 13, the whole idea there is the channels that are supposed to bring the light down below. Ki hasaros heim sinuros. But there, wait a minute, that's what they're for, that's what the sa'aras are for, but there are 4 places on the beard where there aren't any hairs. Echad, he enumerates them. He says, Echad, who tikkun hagimel is the third tikkun, which is the third tikkun, which is overall pesha. So there's a little note on this that we might be able to pick up if we have time. So he said, and this is a orchel, it's a path that has no hairs in it. So I think maybe that's the path in between the mustache, the right side and the left side, I'm not sure. The next one, the second place, that's of the 4 that are istamchu or istamu or whatever. Tikun hahehu lo hachzik la'ad apo. It's that phrase. Shuhu gam came ha'archa pano and lamata. So there's also a place where there's no hair. It's just an open area. Mekavon neged ha'archa pano shalamala. This is the open space of above. The third one is the tikun design. The 7th one, the shuhu yishuv rachamenu. Shehem based the fuchim kadishim, which are the 2 cheeks. Vehem bilti seir. There's no hair there. V'chadalad in the 4th one, hu tikun the yud base. Shuhu asher nishba lavosenu. That's that phrase here. Who pum. This is the mouth. The ispedach called star, which is really open or on. It doesn't have any hairs on it all around. So these things really have no way to influence the bottom because there's no channel there. And that's his answer of why that works like that. Now we do have a note here. It's a note number Vav, and here's the challenge for me to see this. Put that light on there. Oh, that did help. Okay, so let's see. Number Vav. Now the first part, let's see. He's going to want to count them. I don't know if I want to go through them or maybe I should. Medurim and Mevu'arim, these are flames, I guess he flies. Medurim and Mevu'arim, Be'idra Rabbi, excuse me, they're I think it's the word Medurim. Mevu'arim explained over there in the Idra. So he says Kael Melech, he says that one, Nose Avon Trey, and then he goes through all the list of all of them, and let's just count the numbers. He said Trey, then he says there's a Talas, and then there's go on, I'll read it. The Shevis Nachalasa was number 4, Lo Hexi La'ad Apo was number 5, Ki Chafetz Chesed, who that's number 6, Yishuv Rachamenu, Sheva, Yikvush Avanusein, Istamnia, Besashli, Besulas Yankal Latosim is 9, Tita and Emes the Yaakov is 10, Vechesed La'avraham is 11, Chad Shrei, Shechem Nishbal Avusenu, that's the 12th one, Bimei Kadem, that's the 13th one. Okay, so this is talking about the flow of this from Michal, and it has to do with the flow of the inside of the hair follicles. So he said, "V'hine defizer mevoer the shar teisha tikuni dikna amurim b'micha achein yordim v'nimshachen the dikna dezer anpin." So that's the flow. That's what's inside, and that's what goes down. Amron me let rei la'el, but look up above. He says, "Shuhuva b'shem aharbe b'farshin." That is who the Yafashah, the Yain the Rekach, b'shem the Zohar Rakia, all of that. Umikdash Melech also, V'kilas Yaakov, all of these people, the Yud Gimel Tikundach B'diktach Amamorach B'micha, those 13, Heim Oras Penimi, we know that. Derek Anpin, She'enim Yordin Klal, Lamatach Lahoyer Bezer Anpin. They don't, and this a little bit of a Hiddish to me. So he said the Yud Gimel Tikkun that we're talking about here, they don't go down. The Eric Anpin, She'enim Yordim Klal Lamata, Lahoyer Bezer Anpin, Ein Sham, they never go there. The fee Zech of Eirech Bekan, Betikun Bedikta Mamurim, B'Torah B'Parshas Kisisa. So therefore, we're only talking about what's actually going. That is, he's saying that the 4 and the 9, the 4 never goes down, because it's really refers to Micho, which is the inside. So those 4 never go down. It's really parallel to the same idea in a certain way. He says that the quality of them is that they're from Mir, they're Panemius. That Panemius doesn't go down. You have to have hairs for that to be able to go down. The hairs themselves are the Keil Rachel V'Chanum part, which is over there in Shemos. Yordim Teisha Tikunim Lahoyer Lamata. From them, then you have 9 Tikunim that go down and shine down below. Bezer Anpin Ukumuva B'Haros the Birach and Meshula the Fi Arizal Kan Ein Sham. So this is a little view there of that in a little bit more detail. I guess we'll stop right here. And thank you for learning me. Have a wonderful Shabbos. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kollel.